So you just got done watching the fights. The kids are asleep. The wife's in the other room doing, well, what wives do.
Am I the only one that does a goddamn thing around here? How hard is it to pick up after yourself?
So decision time. You could either go in the other room and deal with...
After all I've done today, you expect me to wanna...
or keep it locked right here, because it's time for the Billy C post-fight wrap-up on the BillyCBoxing.com network. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Billy C.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for Billy C's Wilder-Szpilka post-fight show. The fight just ended in dramatic fashion, and joining me right now to kick off the show is my man Larry Hazzard. What's up, Larry?
All right, Billy.
Hey, I tell you, the fight just ended. I'm just going live right now, and I wanted to get your thoughts on the fight, man.
What a great, hey, man. I told you, this guy, Deontay Wilder, well, first off, that first masquerade, I don't know what they call that. You know, that first fight, I don't know what you want to call that.
Well, we'll get to that in a sec. We'll get to that in a second, because that was even Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis couldn't even keep a straight face when they were talking about that. But let's talk about the Deontay Wilder fight. Going in, I don't know about you, man, but I had that fight. Even going into the knockout, I really did. I thought it was a close fight. I
had Wilder about 1 point going into the knockout.
Yeah. I mean, some of those rounds were close. Nobody's right or wrong, but I figured the fight was extremely close. I saw a lot of things that I felt were exposed by Wilder, but at the end of the day, he's got punching power. But you know what, Larry?
What?
What happened to that guy that we all loved when we saw him is using his jab against Stavern? He's become a headhunter, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah. I was saying that. I was saying, oh man, this is he's disappointing me. I was saying to myself, oh, he's disappointing me. Where's that jab? Where's those instructions from Mark Breland?
Yeah, nothing.
I did finally hear Mark telling him, use that jab. Okay, I did finally in one of those rounds. But I was getting a little disappointed. But look, Billy, as long as it ended in heavyweight fashion and he showed that he has that punching power, I still feel that he is the future of the heavyweight division right now.
All right, okay? Listen. Let me just say this. Let me just and just hear me out. First of all, I give him the accolades. I feel that he beat the best guy he faced so far tonight. I think that Szpilka was in hindsight, now that we get to look at it, I think Szpilka was better than Stavern, and I think Deontay Wilder's best win was tonight. Except saying that, and thinking about future opponents, not so much Povetkin, because I think what we witnessed, the same type of thing that we've witnessed with Vladimir Klitschko over the last decade. I think Deontay Wilder is used to being so much bigger. He has virtually no defense. He uses his height and just nods his head away. I said that I felt that he had a really good chance of beating Tyson Fury. I'm not so sure right now.
I think he could. Okay, so that's going to be interesting.
Only because Tyson Fury has that jab, and he's the same size. Power-wise, Deontay's got more power than anyone else in the division, I think.
And I think that's going to be the determining factor. And you point out something very important, okay? If you look at some of the past good or great heavyweights that we saw in the past era, many, if not most of them, had flaws, but they could take advantage of their strong point. We realize that Mike Tyson, he had flaws. He had many flaws. But for a long period of time, Mike Tyson could capitalize on his strongest asset, and that was his what? His aggressiveness and his powerful punch. Okay? Of all of the recent, great heavyweights of the last era, I would think that Larry Holmes, Evander Holyfield, and maybe one other that I'm missing, had the greatest boxing ability. But the rest of them had many flaws, but they were able to capitalize on their strongest attributes, whatever it was. And I think that that's the same thing that this Deontay Wilder. He has that power. And most heavyweights became great heavyweights because of that one element, was that power. And up until the point of the knockout, I was a little disappointed in Deontay Wilder because I wasn't seeing some of the other things that I thought he was going to develop. And, most recently, we just had the same discussion about, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, it's a shame that so many fighters today are holding titles while they are developing. When in the past, you developed first and then you became the champion. You were already developed.
Right.
But that's the new paradigm in boxing, okay? But the thing that I think that stands out with this guy Wilder, with Deontay, as a heavyweight, he is doing exactly what we expect of the heavyweight champion, and that's knock the opponents out, and that's what he's doing.
True.
And that's his strongest attribute, the power. So I think that kind of excuses him at this point for some of his other shortcomings. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Well, the thing is now, I can't see him regress with his level of opposition. So if he's stepping up, assuming he's stepping up his competition level with guys like Artur Szpilka like tonight, and assuming that he's going to keep going up the ladder, not regress to another Eric Molina or Johan Duhaupas, and if he stays, moving up, I think some of those holes that we might have witnessed today is going to catch up with him. If he's saving the things that he's learning in the gym, he needs to start using them, because to me, I saw a fighter that relies totally on his power, and he's very confident in his power. And as he moves up with a guy slightly bigger, that's why, going into this fight, I always felt that Tyson Fury, was a big guy and everything, but I really gave Deontay Wilder the edge to beat Tyson Fury. I figured that Deontay Wilder had the power and everything else. But as I watched this fight, and I watch how much Deontay Wilder doesn't like to get hit, and how easy he is to get hit, and how the lack of size prevents fighters from going in and working them inside, just like Vladimir's size prevented fighters from moving in. I think once Deontay Wilder faces a big guy like a Tyson Fury, we might see something different. Hey, I just can't wait to see. I like everyone else, feel that he does bring some excitement to the heavyweight division, unlike that first fight, which we'll get to real quick. I gotta open up the phone lines after this, but I tell you, all I could say, Larry, and I'm dying to hear your opinion. All I'm gonna say is that was, and no disrespect to Charles Martin or Cesar Glaskov, but that was an embarrassment to even say that was for a title, and to award the title to a guy like Charles Martin, who clearly isn't in any position to even be a number 10 ranked contender, in my opinion, to literally hold the belt. I predicted it on this show earlier in the week. I guarantee you the next fight Deontay Wilder has is against Charles Martin, so he can get that other title. What's your thoughts on that fight, and where both of these guys go next?
Well, as far as that fight is concerned, okay, there's very little that I can say, because you said it all. I thought that fight was really like an embarrassment to the sport. Okay, I'm saying, what is this? Football? A damaged ACL? What are you talking about?
That was bad.
Where was the punch? I didn't even see the punch.
There was no punch. The punch didn't land.
How do you become the heavyweight champion of anything without even landing a punch? It was ridiculous. And for that to be even recognized for this fighter, and for that kid to even be recognized as a heavyweight champion is a disgrace to the sport of boxing.
It is.
Okay? So I'm glad that the the second fight, okay, that fight ended in the dramatic fashion that it did, so that it kind of, makes us forget about whatever you want to call that first, that first fight.
That's right. It was like mouthwash, right? It rinsed out that rotten taste in your mouth.
Man, my God. But Billy, allow me to say one thing. I really don't think that you're going to get a chance to see Wilder against Fury, because I'll bet you a dinner that Fury fights Klitschko and he loses. Okay, the rematch.
Well, I tell you, Klitschko, if he fights an aggressive style, I agree with you. And
he beats Fury in a rematch.
Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. When we get closer, I'll take you up on that. Yeah, we had another wager somewhere along the line. I forgot what it was. It was for dinner. I don't even remember what it was. I'm thinking if I might have lost, because if I won, I surely would have remembered it.
Well, most of the time, Billy, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Most of the time we're on the same page. But no, I don't think that much of Fury. And if he fights Klitschko again, he loses. Look, Fury. He's making me laugh. He's up there. I was like, oh, WWF is here now, But it adds a little excitement to the night and to the sport. You know what I mean? That's the way Ali started. He's crazy and all, but he's no Ali, believe me.
Well, listen, I'll definitely be looking forward to an improving Deontay Wilder. He certainly won in dramatic fashion tonight. And I give him credit because I feel that he fought the toughest opponent of his career so far. So that much I have to give him. And like you, I had the fight extremely close.
Knocked him out.
And knocked him out. Yeah, there's no controversy there. There's no argument about the scorecards. There's nothing. I mean, that's how you just take matters in your own hands and you get the win. So
and that's what we expect of heavyweight.
Oh yeah,
that's what we expect of heavyweight boxing. That's it.
And you want to know one other thing before I let you go? I was extremely impressed with the class that he showed, because I started thinking that he was getting, wrapped up with his own, he starts getting some money, he starts getting a lot of attention and everything, and he started acting kind of like a fool. But now I realize it was just for the cameras, because his true colors actually showed through, man. He was concerned. He wouldn't let anybody act all pounding their chest. I don't know if you picked that up, but he wouldn't let any of the the hangers on that are all around him. He made them all kind of stay cool, and I respect Deontay a lot for that.
That's right, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And he said some nice things about his opponent, and of course he was concerned that for the guy's well-being, he had him in his prayers.
Yeah,
and that's great. I like to hear that from a young kid.
He was genuinely concerned, which I was impressed with. Yeah. Larry, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's later than normal, but I'm glad you enjoyed the fight, and I'm glad we got treated to a good one, my man.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Billy.
All right, listen, we won't see you this week on the show, but we'll be waiting for you the following week, my man.
Okay, very good.
All right, take care.
Okay.
That's Boxing Hall of Famer Larry Hazzard joining us. You're listening to the Billy C. post-fight, Deontay Wilder and Artur Szpilka fight. Now, if you're just tuning in, we are coming at you this time. This is our first coming at you with a post-fight show on ESPN New Hampshire. Glad you guys could join us. And we are excited to be here on ESPN New Hampshire doing a post-fight show. Now, listen, our phone lines are open right now. I want to get your thoughts, 845-228-8710. In case you're tuning in late, two title fights taking place tonight on Showtime. The first one was for the vacant IBF heavyweight title. Cesar Glazkov, was going up against Charles Martin, and that fight ended via a fourth-round TKO with no punch landed. Third-round TKO with no punch landing, and Charles Martin is now the new IBF heavyweight titleist, and Deontay Wilder defends his title with a ninth-round knockout at 2 minutes and 24 seconds to beat Artur Szpilka. We got a phone caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Billy C. It's your old friend, Chris from Tampa. How's it going?
Hey, brother, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Nothing much. Just enjoyed a great night of heavyweight.
Did I lose you? I think I just. Oh, are you back?
I'm back. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I had a bad connection there for a second. So,
All
what's
right,
your
sorry
thoughts on
about
the
that. I
fight,
was
my
saying
man?
That, there was a great heavyweight fight tonight. The first one was kind of a flop, but I thought Wilder, I can't pronounce his last name, but the Polish guy, was very competitive until that big shot. The big shot ended things, and it was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, going into that last round, I actually, Larry had Deontay Wilder up by 1. I had the fight even after the 8th round, 76-76, but Deontay Wilder ended matters with a devastating knockout, and Artur Szpilka was definitely out. But
yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, listen, when you end a fight like that, there's no arguments. Did you see anything in that fight, good or bad, for Deontay Wilder as he moves forward?
Well, I'll keep it as honest as possible. I like to call it as I see it, and as much as Wilder has improved over the last couple of fights, that big slip, I think it was in the fifth or sixth round, where he's doing the straight right and he falls. Like, you know, if you're anybody who's trained in the gym, there's a way to do that in the footwork. And like, even in Duhop's fight, when he like kind of knocks him out and the rest stops it, he's kind of bouncing around like a chicken. Like, I like Wilder, but man, that's like, you can just tell that this was not his like original sport of choice. Like, it's what he became successful in. But all he does is 1-2s.
Right.
He has nothing. I mean, Szpilka or whatever, you know, can go to the body and throw left hooks and stuff. But this guy has got tremendous power, which is his real saving grace. But fundamentally, he's really flawed, like incredibly flawed. That's why the real steal of the show, the knockout was stupendous, no doubt. I won't take anything away from Wilder. I also respect his class. That was a big thing, helping out Szpilka near the end. But the real stealing of the show was Tyson Fury. Now that is the fight I'd like to watch. Wilder versus a guy who really knows what he's doing in the ring. Man, that was amazing.
I tell you, the thing about what I'm feeling now, what I saw with Deontay, you know, I saw things that I, you know, was impressed with. Not so much him, like aside, I knew that he had punching power, but there were some things that I saw, and I feel that he, you know, his advantage over Artur was simply the size. I think Artur, just like I was mentioning to Larry earlier, I feel that fighters with such a disadvantage in height have a hard time getting in to do what they need to do, like Artur did.
Absolutely.
You know, he couldn't get in and let his hands go without, you know, being cautious or whatever. I think once Deontay Wilder steps in there with a guy the same size as him, his lack of defensive skill is really going to haunt him, and those skinny little chicken legs are going to fail him too. You know, I mean, for a guy his size, he's not that big. Like, you know, I mean, he only, what did he weigh? 228. You know, he's 6'8", you know, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward. Charles Martin, to me, he's not even a number 10 ranked contender. It's a shame
that
he's
a mockery to the sport.
Mockery is a great word, because to me, he shouldn't be regarded as a champion. I mean, we complain about all these champions. He definitely shouldn't be one.
The one saving grace I'll give for Martin was at least like his reaction in the post fight, and it was just like, you know, what do you want to do from here? He's like, well, I wanted to fight. I didn't really get a fight. So, granted, you know, he shouldn't be in this position. We all know what's going on in boxing, sanctioning bodies, blah, blah, blah. You know, Tyson Fury getting stripped, all that stuff is ridiculous. But at least we're living in the current era that we're in. You know, Charles Martin shouldn't be in this position, but now that he's there, at least he has a decent mindset. So hopefully they throw him in deep. That's what I hope, but we'll see what happens.
Nah, they're going to develop him. But, hey, Chris, it was great chatting with you. We got some other people calling in. Try and come down to West Palm. We're doing a live event Thursday night.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'll send you an email, Billy. All right, you have a great night.
All right, brother. Take care. It's my man Chris from Tampa. He's joined us a couple of times for some events on site in St. Simons. Phone line is open, 845-228-8710. What's your thoughts? Deontay Wilder knocking out Artur Szpilka. I think it was a great indication that Deontay clearly has punching power. I think we all knew that. You know, I thought I got to give Deontay Wilder credit. To me, he fought the toughest opponent of his career so far. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes from here in terms of the level of opposition that he faces. I just feel, I've been saying it, I'm going to continue to say it, I just feel that he's going to meet some fighters that, once they're close to his same size, are going to give him trouble. His defensive skills were not there. His defensive skill was to move out of the way. His hands never were up at all. But anyway, we got Dax on the line. What's up, man? What'd you think?
It was, the best part was the knockout, of course. We all love knockouts. And as Larry stated, that's what you want to watch a heavyweight title fight for. But I don't know what fight everybody else was watching, and I don't know what everybody else was trying to see, what their score was. But I actually had Artur Szpilka up ahead in that fight. I think it's kind of embarrassing that, you're the heavyweight, you're calling yourself the heavyweight champion, but he's not the heavyweight champion. It's your third defense. You have all this publicity, this hype, and Artur Szpilka made him look like a clown. Wilder was lunging with those punches. He fell because he overthrew a punch. Szpilka was doing just enough, and he was something he obviously practiced for in the gym, where he was pulling back just enough to make Wilder miss. Wilder wasn't really changing his game around, and anytime he did start to have a little bit of momentum, Szpilka was able to take it away from him by using a little bit of footwork. Wilder seemed very confused by the head movement, and as you stated, and I think Larry stated before, the chin of Wilder is not all that great. I stated on Monday, Wilder does not like to get hit, especially when he's caught on the ropes. Tyson Fury, I'm not going to say that's the guy that beats him, because Tyson Fury doesn't really have a lot of power. Tyson Fury is kind of awkward. His skills have improved greatly, but when you look at a lot of these younger fighters, and that's what we look for in boxing, is these younger guys, as they come up and they're getting that opportunity, these kids are going to pick him apart, because Deontay Wilder, even though tonight was his best opponent, he really hasn't been in there with anybody. If he was in there with the Luis Ortiz that we watched up on the 19th at the Turning Stone, Deontay Wilder wouldn't have made it out of the second and third round. I don't think Deontay Wilder is going to... Alexander Povetkin was looking at that fight almost as if Alexander Povetkin was saying to himself, if this guy signs the contract, I have an easy fight.
The only problem is that he's got more of a height advantage, I believe, over Povetkin that he did over Szpilka. As far as Tyson Fury, I think I agree with you. Tyson Fury doesn't have the pop, but he's got a good jab. He knows how to tie opponents up. He leans on them. He can get uppercuts inside. He's kind of grisly. He kind of knows what he's doing, and I think that's going to give Deontay some trouble when and if they ever meet. But first things first, we got to give Deontay credit. I mean, listen, I had the fight even. You couldn't have had Szpilka up by more than one round or so, but it was close. And I thought that. I thought it was a great fight. I mean, for a heavyweight fight, considering following that other joke of a fight, listen, I got to give Deontay all the credit in the world for winning, and especially winning the way he did.
I give him, that credit. I give him the credit. Mike Tyson said a little something before the fight when then they were talking to him and Lennox Lewis, saying, we don't know exactly how good a guy is till they have to dig a little deep. Deontay Wilder, in past fights, he was rocked a few times by lesser guys than Artur Szpilka, and in his, I think it was the Duhaupas fight where his eye really swelled up, and Deontay Wilder seemed to dig a little deep there. He had to. Tonight, Wilder, he had to overcome some, I guess, awkwardness is the best way
That's
to put
it. He wasn't hurt.
He had to readjust.
Yeah, because he wasn't hurt at all. I give him that.
No, he wasn't, but it's mental. Larry talked about Muhammad Ali, saying, Muhammad Ali used to do these things like Tyson Fury. And Deontay Wilder was on point when he said, Tyson Fury does these things, a lot of it is an act, but if you had a guy like Muhammad Ali who believed in what he was going to do and had that type of ability, he would come and he had guys beat before they went into the ring, a lot like Mike Tyson. It was a different way that he did it. But, Mike Tyson, when they're asking him, how do you think you would do? There's another guy that I think much like an Ali type that, is in there and their ability. Somebody like Mike Tyson would have Deontay Wilder beat before they went into the ring. When you look at these younger guys that are up, and I specifically talk about all the time Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker, one of these guys, if Deontay Wilder started out the first 2, 3, and 4 rounds against one of these young guys like he does against these other guys, Deontay Wilder wouldn't see the 5th round. And a lot of that is just, as you say, because of them chicken legs of his. The best improvement I've seen of Deontay Wilder is the fact he made sure he kept bringing up that right hand. That's always been a flaw in him. He leans back too much, and he doesn't bring that hand up, to defend. Usually, again, of course, against an orthodox fighter, he doesn't bring up that left hand. But this is obviously something him and Mark Breedlove worked on in the gym.
One last thing, and I got to let you go. We got a bunch of people trying to call in. Did you see fatigue in this fight at all from Deontay Wilder? Do you think he was starting to get a little tired?
I think he was getting a little mentally tired. There's a difference between mentally tired and physically tired. The mental tiredness will take more of a toll on a guy than the physical tiredness, because a guy who's physically tired, if he has to, he'll dig deep to try and pull out what he can at the last moment before everything's gone. Now, when you're mentally tired, that means you're just depleting inside, and you're just hoping that this fight is going to end, and then you start getting lazy, and you start getting frustrated because everything you try isn't working, and then you become easy pickings. I've seen a little bit of that in Deontay Wilder. That's why he was lunging. That's why he was reaching. That's why he swung wild and fell. And again, when he gets in there against a guy who has a better chin and somebody who can really bang, Artur Szpilka is not a hard puncher. Artur Szpilka has been down against less. And if he goes in there against one of these big guys that can bang and they can box, Deontay Wilder, he's not going to be able to get away with the things he got away with tonight. So they got a lot of work on him. And you stated it before, look for Deontay Wilder and Charles Martin. And as much as everybody, before I go, as much as everybody is on more Ronaldo, and I'm on him a lot too, but he had the best line of the night when, and he was calling a lot of stuff like it was, especially for the Hazzard Glaskov and Charles Martin fight, and he was mentioning resumes, and he said, I don't know how Charles Martin got this fight. Charles Martin's wins are over opponents who aren't even household names. Who aren't household names, not even their own households. So how did this guy get this? And, again, it's a travesty, and I keep saying it, this is not a legitimate title, and hopefully Charles Martin follows through what he says, and he wants to prove he's a champion. You can win the title, but to be a champion, you have to defend it and keep your belt. Yeah,
he won't be keeping that long. But anyway, Dax, great points, and we'll be looking forward to you later in the week when we're down doing our event.
Down in Tampa. Everybody have a good night. All
right, take care. That's West Palm, by the way. Hey, if you're watching on a stream, I know we got some streams going on. Come on over into our chat room on BillyCBoxing.com. We got the YouTube stream. We got the Ustream stream. So come on over and check out the guys in there and get involved with that stuff. You are listening to the Billy C. post-fight show. Deontay Wilder, Artur Szpilka. This is a variation of our regular daily 2-hour show, Talking Boxing with Billy C. So check it out. If you don't catch us on YouTube, subscribe to us, man. It's easy. Just go up to youtube.com/talkingboxing. I was going to tell you to call in, but we already got a caller on the line. I think it's Joel. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy? I really think that I agree with everything Dax just said. I feel that as Wilder starts stepping up, he's very tentative. He seems to. When he was fighting those bums, he would look aggressive in those first 4 rounds. But now those first 4 rounds, he's trying to figure out his opponent, and then he takes some wild shots. And in the later rounds, and it's just like when he steps up, he's looking. He's trying to figure these guys out. Now, I think, truthfully, he's going to fight Charles Martin next. That's why I'm calling in. I wanted to ask you that.
Dude, I predicted that last week. I said it. I said, guaranteed, Charles Martin's going to win the fight, and you're going to see him either do one of two things. They're either going to let him fight Charles Martin and give him the opportunity to unify, or he's going to give up the WBC belt to avoid Povetkin. We'll wait and see. But, I kind of disagree with you. I think that his tentativeness and trying to figure his opponents out is actually a good thing. To me, that's being smart in the ring. That's taking a look at your opponent and seeing what maybe you have to do. My hang up is I think that he's smart enough to do that now, but he's not mixing anything up. Now he's got to apply, trying to figure out his fighter and then try to do some different things. For me, what I'd like to see improve for Deontay Wilder is his defense. So far, he hasn't had to worry about it because of his height, and his arm reach has been, kept him safe. But now that he's going to be forced, hopefully, to step up his level of opposition and fight bigger and better guys, that defense is going to fail him if he doesn't tighten it up. That's my thoughts.
And Larry said if excuse me, if Klitschko wins the rematch, don't you think they would do a trilogy, and that would kind of leave Fury out of the picture? Let's just say if Klitschko does win the rematch. Well,
I don't know what the contract is going to be. If they already had it, sometimes rematch clauses, they already have a contract in place. If the contract just said rematch, then if they got to draw up another contract, then if I'm Tyson Fury's team, of course you put a rematch clause in that one. So to have a trilogy, and you get stuck with those fights. But I would think that if Vladimir Klitschko wins that title back, like Larry is predicting, I would think that unification would be the key. Deontay Wilder has said all along that he wants to unify the titles. Let's see it. Charles Martin, a new world titleist tonight, he says he wants to unify the titles. So everybody says they want to unify the titles, but let's see what happens.
I think the Charles Martin thing was like the biggest joke. I mean, I don't know. Last thing I want to say, did you see when the first time that Vyacheslav Glazkov slipped? It looked like I said when he got up, he looked like he hurt himself.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. That's when he did the original damage. And when he finally went out, his leg buckled. They showed the slow motion 100 times, and he wasn't even hit. There was no punch. His knee put him out. Listen, Usain Fagan fought Amir Khan and broke his ankle getting up off the stool. And he couldn't continue. And on Amir Khan's record, it says TKO win. That's the way it is, man. It's the sport, So, I mean, that's not Charles Martin's fault. I don't blame him for that. But I just blame the powers that be that gave Charles Martin the shot at that title. And what's even more sickening is of the two fighters prior to the fight, Glazkov had the better resume and was more well-known, and he had to enter in first and got announced second. Got announced first. It was like Charles Martin was the A side of that, which was even more disheartening for me. Only for the whole thing for the sport. Before I let you go, how did you see the fight, Wilder-Szpilka, before it was ended?
I think I had Wilder up maybe a round or two. It was kind of tight.
Close.
A lot of those, it was a matter of what the judges were seeing. I was trying to figure that out more than anything. I think Szpilka got a little more confident in the later part of the fight until he got caught.
Yeah, he got too confident, and he was throwing a punch wide, and he got hit by the bomb squad. So. That's what happened. But, Joel, I appreciate the call, my man. And
thanks, buddy. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you when you come back.
All right. Hopefully you'll tune in. You're going to watch the fights.
Yes. Wednesday, the weigh-ins, and Thursday on LDL TV for the fights. I'll check it out.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care. Thanks.
All right, bye. That's my man, Joel. And what we're talking about is we're doing a live broadcast Thursday. We're also doing a weigh-in. There's an event taking place down in West Palm Beach, Florida. Check out www.ldltv.com for all the information. We'll be broadcasting the whole event for free, the way webcast should be. Now, if you're watching or listening on another stream, check out www.billycboxing.com. Come on into the chat room. We'd appreciate it. We got our phone lines open, but right now, Alex Perpali joins us. What's up, man? What'd you think?
Hey, Billy C. I thought it was pretty good fight. I thought it was enjoyable. I think, a lot of the things we talked about this week and that a lot of the guys so far have said, that I think that's what made it sort of fun, is that Wilder is sort of learning every time out, and he's definitely a work in progress. I thought that this was like last year's right around, I didn't realize it was right around this time. Or I think we did mention that this week on the show, how it was it was like early January last year, where he looked so good against Deverne. I think he must like January, but he definitely. I thought he was impressive. I thought he did what he had to do against a guy that was definitely an aggressive southpaw who was there to win tonight. And I think the way he put his lights out, man, like Larry was saying, that's exactly what you want to see from a heavyweight. I disagree with Dax a little. I didn't think Szpilka was giving him that much trouble, but I did give him 3 rounds, and I thought that like we had talked about this week, and like you were mentioning that it would be a good idea to go after Wilder's body. I think he did with some success. I don't know. I think we want to see punches and bunches from our heavyweights, and I don't think that we get that from these guys today. And I think maybe it is because everybody's so big that they have to sort of lunge after each other.
Right.
But I don't know. I enjoyed it, though.
Yeah, first of all, he did go to the body, but he didn't seem like he was going to the body 100%. It was like haphazard. It looked like he was using the body to try to set other stuff up rather than go to the body as a break down my opponent, go to the body kind of attack. And that's what I want to see. But you're right. And that's what I said it for years, and finally, people listen, and it came true with Vladimir Klitschko. I said, both brothers became proficient fighting smaller guys. Well, I see the same thing with Deontay Wilder. It's not like their fault. It's just, when you're fighting guys and you're used to fighting guys that are 3, 4, 5, 6 inches shorter than you, you just it just becomes the norm, not the exception. So what's going to be the exception is when he steps in with a guy close to his size. I think that his lack of defensive skills and his lack of mobility, for a guy that seems so athletic and a guy who says he's so athletic, he doesn't seem that fluid in the ring to me when he's moving around. What's your thoughts?
Wilder doesn't seem that fluid?
Yeah.
I would agree. I think part of that is because he is so big. But I think that, he shows that in terms of just the 1-2, I mean, that's beautiful. So he's fluid enough and destructively fluid that, I think that you're right. I mean, I think remember, he's fighting a southpaw. So I think that was the real reason, and I think that's like what Dax was saying. I think that was the reason for a lot of the lunging, because he's a puncher. So like Malignaggi was saying, in the first round, both guys came out there with their feet real wide and planting. They were throwing big shots. So when you do that, if you miss, you're gonna go sailing across the ring, and he did that one time where he fell over. But I did think that Szpilka showed that there are things you could do against Wilder, like we've been talking about. Like you say, Bill, he's a work in progress. I mean, he's learning while he's the champion. That's why I do think that. Let's face it. I don't think anyone wants to see him fight Charles Martin. That just wouldn't be entertaining in the least.
Do you want to see? Let me ask you this: do you want to see Charles Martin fight? Do you really want to see Charles Martin fight anybody?
Not particularly.
No, I mean,
that would be really unfair if they made, unless they put it in a doubleheader with Tyson Fury fighting somebody else, that it was just irresistible to watch it. But from what happened tonight, I think this was a shot in the arm for boxing. I wouldn't be surprised if clips of that, between the knockout and the head-to-head of Fury and Wilder, make the morning shows tomorrow, like GMA and the Today Show. Because come on, that's what puts asses in the seats from the mainstream asses.
See, no, I missed. Tell me what happened with.
It was great
because I had a setup for this show. You'll
love it. He is an absolute lunatic. He came into the ring. And Jim Gray was a little off tonight. I thought a lot of Morrow. I really disagree with Dax on that too. I find him very difficult to watch.
Oh, I can't stand him. He's the worst. But I think Dax agrees. He just thought that he had a funny line or two tonight.
Well, yeah, every now and then, it's buckshot though. When you're firing so many, it's like Jesus. Stop.
I can't stand him. Either he grew his hair or he's donning a wig now. I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jim Gray, I don't know. That interview with Tyson and Lennox Lewis was odd, and he was equally odd at the end of the Charles Martin interview. But he always has that. He's standoffish. He's peculiar, Jim Gray.
Oh, I can't stand him. But anyway, ever since the Pete Rose
thing, Fury comes up and they let them get right nose to nose, and Fury's saying to him, "You're a bum. You're a bum," and they're both talking at the same time, and. They were nose to nose, right? And Fury's definitely a little taller, but not much. Maybe an inch and a half.
But he's way bigger.
He definitely looks larger, but not. I don't know. I mean, he's bulkier. He was wearing a suit jacket too. I mean, of course, Wilder was suitless and just wearing a belt. But then Fury gets pulled away. It gets louder and louder, and they get closer and closer, and. Whether that's phony or whatever, but people pull away. You saw Lou DiBella getting sort of in the scrum there. He's really grinning, so Lou's a fight fan. He's probably loving it, but at the same time, he's like, I hope these two guys don't take a swing at each other. So they try to break it up, and then Fury goes to the other side of the ring and pulls his coat off, and I'm not sure if he whipped he had a vest on too, and he threw it on the floor like a wrestler. And Deontay Wilder was mocking him, saying to him, you're a phony. And this is where I was saying in the chat room that I thought he showed a lot of poise because he did not, I don't know. In the past, I haven't liked Deontay Wilder's antics too much. I mean, he has a YouTube video where he sets fire to things.
I know.
He beat up a internet troll. I'm not as much as it's not like I have a soft spot for internet trolls. I thought that was a little much. He's a professional fighter. He could kill a guy.
Yeah, and the guy kept getting up, too.
Yeah. But I thought tonight he really showed a lot of poise.
Yeah.
He said right to him, I know you're a phony. Anytime you want to get this, you could get this. You're a wrestler. You're not a real fighter. It was good. Things I'm paraphrasing. So I think that I wouldn't be surprised if that... what I'm saying is I think they would be making a huge mistake if they were to put Charles Martin in next when you have you've lit the fuse on what could be an extremely lucrative heavyweight title bout, an interesting title bout.
Think
just the press tour will be fun.
Think of this. Assuming Tyson Fury and I might have to cough up a dinner to Larry, but assuming Tyson Fury beats Vladimir Klitschko again, now you got
just it.
Okay. Listen,
now one of those situations where he'll try to sue to get the rematch.
Yeah, but listen. If Tyson Fury beats Klitschko again, now Tyson Fury has two of the belts. Then they have Deontay Wilder beat up Martin, take his belt. Then the two fight each other for winner take all. That's called the unification. I could see that happening. I would love to see that. The first order of business, get that belt away from Charles Martin. That's a disgrace.
I don't know. I think that could just sit there over there.
I know that you're gonna see him fighting. All of the Deontay Wilder foes. And they're all developing. You can't be a champion and still develop. I'm sorry, you can't.
Yeah, you could put Duopas, or you could put Szpilka Martin in the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. I mean, I really think that they've lit the fuse on that promotion. I really hope that we don't have to pause and see Fury fight Klitschko again because, like Larry was saying, and like you've mentioned, I think Vladimir beats him in a rematch. Unless Vladimir doesn't want to fight. And that fight could also happen, too, is they give him a little money just to sit aside. But see, remember when Rahman beat Lennox Lewis, Rahman wanted to fight, and of course Don King was hoping to get Rahman to fight Mike Tyson at that time. 2001, it would have been Mike might have had a shot at that. And then, but Lennox Lewis said, look, we had a rematch clause, we're getting a rematch. So if Vlad does that same thing, and remember, Lewis won in court the right to fight Rahman again. So I wonder if there's a similar verbiage in their contracts. I would think Vladimir Klitschko, wants to erase that humiliating defeat.
Well, he's already said that he's going to exercise it, and I think it's taking place in April or May or something like that. So
that's unfortunate, because tonight this was a lot of fun, and I think this will be interesting in terms of the business of boxing. I don't think you could do better than a heavyweight title fight between an American and a Brit, a big American puncher and a big English big mouth. I mean, how could that not be a fun promotion? And I think it would be good for the sport.
And then meanwhile, back in Anthony Joshua's camp and Joseph Parker, as they develop, they'll be the real guys controlling the heavyweight division in another 2 years. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the thing about this. I think that let's forget about marinating. I think this is now. They'd be crazy not to make something of this. These guys aren't good enough to let things marinate. So I think they should put that fight together. It'd be a lot of fun.
All right, my man. Well, I appreciate your thoughts, and I'll look forward to seeing you on the phone lines, I guess, for Wednesday and Thursday when we do our live broadcast.
Sounds good, Billy C. Take care.
All right, brother. That's Alex Papali. You can check him out doing the Blast from the Past on the Talking Boxing with Billy C. show. I want to give a shout-out to ESPN New Hampshire. Glad you guys could join us. I know this is the first post-fight show, and if you're new and you just stumbled across this, we do a 2-hour-a-day boxing talk show, Talking Boxing with Billy C. We have we're on TV, we're on radio, we're on podcasts, we're also on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talkinboxing. That's TALKINBOXING. And while you're at it, buy my book. Will you? Okay, yeah, I gotta plug my book. Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet. It's available right now where all good books are sold. You can get a copy at Barnes & Noble, barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com, Kindle, Nook, wherever you want it. Now, if you're looking to get a signed copy, visit our website, www.billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section and follow the directions. And while you're in there, there's some other great books for you to read. Phone line is open, 845-228-8710, 845-228-8710. What's your thoughts? Is Tyson Fury going to fight Deontay Wilder next? Did Deontay Wilder meet your expectations in this fight? Are you happy with the new IBF World Heavyweight Champion in Charles Martin? A lot of questions. But one thing is for sure, Deontay Wilder has got some knockout power. Whether you like him or not, you can't deny that. I like him as a person. I don't think he's the best heavyweight in the world today, but he certainly beat decisively, in my opinion, the best opponent he has faced to date in Artur Szpilka. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes from there. So we'll see what happens with him. And joining us right now is the man from LDL TV himself, John Musciunas. What'd you think of the fight, my man?
Hey, man, I'm turning down all the volume on my 18 screen thing because I got the Deontay Wilder picture up there with Tyson Fury. Listen, I'll be real short and sweet. That was friggin' great. The whole entirety of that thing. Watching him knock that. What's the guy's name? Arturo. I spelled his name like 15 times on the Ustream page, and I can't even say his last name.
Szpilka.
But whatever it was, that was awesome. And the aftermath with Tyson Fury was awesome. That was like fantastic. Great stuff, man. Awesome.
What'd you think? What'd you think of the fight itself? Did you find that excitement like you were used to back in the day?
Yeah, it was good. And I was running around here trying to get a couple of connectors to put some other stuff up on air. just before, they did the tribute to Howard Davis, and I was going to recopy that and stuff. But I saw basically about 4 rounds of it, but it was good. And I put that picture up in your chat room there of that punch, and that defined the whole thing there, that he threw this big roundhouse punch, and Deontay Wilder came through. And listen, here's my opinion of you guys, you, Alex, and Dax, all you total boxing aficionados who like, are dispute Deontay Wilder and all that stuff. Listen, this is the hand that we're dealt right now, and you got to play it. Deontay Wilder is not, like Lennox Lewis would kill him, and probably Tyson would in his prime, and Holyfield would speed him up and all that stuff. But this is the guy we're dealt right now, and Tyson Fury is the other guy we're dealt right now. So why not let's just enjoy it and hope that fight happens and see those two maniacs go at it in a press conference and the lead up to it and have it be a wild fight and let it end in some crazy knockout. That's what I say right now. Forget it. Let's just get entertained.
I agree. And I think that Tyson Fury poses some interesting challenges to Deontay Wilder. Listen, the one knock that Tyson Fury has is he does not have punching power. He doesn't have the power you would expect from a 6'9" guy. He just doesn't. Deontay Wilder does. He has the knockout power, but I think that the overall boxing skill of Tyson Fury is better than Deontay Wilder. Plus, Tyson Fury knows more of the tricks. He's a lot slicker in the ring in terms of, holding a guy down, hitting him while he's holding him, maybe hitting him behind the head a little bit. I'm not saying that you should fight illegally, but fighters know how to push the envelope a little bit, and I think that Tyson Fury has a little more experience in that than Deontay Wilder, which
and like I said, I think you agree, Billy. Both these guys are 2 steps below those guys from the 90s that we, and listen, I disagree with Alex that interview with Jim Gray, and listen, Jim Gray, I met the guy and stuff, and he's a little kooky and stuff, but it was actually a great interview between Tyson. Tyson was kind of kooky and Lennox Lewis, but it was really cool to watch those guys at that fight talking with each other, and Jim Gray gave him a decent interview just to see those guys there going, wow, we're actually kind of excited to see this whole thing come together, because that's what we've been waiting for. We're done with the Klitschko's, and we got some excitement. I know we're down 2 steps from the fighters in the 90s, 80s, 70s. We're 2 steps down, but we got guys who have big personalities and are crazy, and Tyson Fury got in that rig and said that crap, and that was, to me, that was great, and I'm excited to see it. And to me, put those 2 guys in the ring in 90 days and put it on pay-per-view, and I will pay for that in a second.
I got 2 questions, and I got to let you go. First question, How much did HBO pay Mike Tyson to mention HBO on Showtime 100 times like he did? What do you think?
I have no idea.
That's funny.
I don't know what something's going on there. He must have made a deal for some show or something.
He must have said HBO 10 times. And
he did. But I think he's just over it. I don't know if they paid him.
Well,
he's got a show or something going on.
I know how I am. You can't mention anybody else's thing here, and I know they were cringing. Cringing. Hey, last thing.
Old Florida barbecue rub and seasoning, man.
Last thing. Tell everyone how they can tune into our event on West Palm Beach on Thursday.
Okay, so our man Billy C is going to put together a good fight card. Hopefully, it's great. I just went down there and saw the arena. It's the Gossman Theater in West Palm Beach. You can watch it on LDL TV. You can watch it this time in both English and in Creole for the Haitian viewers out there on LDLTV.com or Ustream, or click on the Ustream banner on Billy C. There's a bunch of different places. You're going to be able to see it on islandboxing.com and Haitian-sensation.com, bunch of places. But if you want to get there easy, just go to LDLTV.com. Both feeds are up there right now, and we will be streaming the weigh-in live at 5 o'clock. You can see the guys weigh in, and then at 6:50 p.m. on Thursday night, because nobody has anything else to do on Thursday, tune in, watch Billy C. Talking with Carl King, live ringside in West Palm Beach, and it'll be 2 or 3 hour show depending on what Billy puts together, but it should be some good action from West Palm Beach. LDLTV.com, both feeds English and in Creole with our Creole announcers.
That's going to be interesting. Well,
Yeah.
my man, I'll be looking forward to seeing you in a few
bro.
days. All right. That's my
Talk to
man.
you later, man.
All right.
Bye.
That's my man, John, from LDL TV. Check it out, www.ldltv.com. Phone lines are open. What's your thoughts on the fight? You see good things. You see bad things. You see I don't care things. What do you think? I had the fight even up until the stoppage. I do think it was close. We've had Dax thought that Szpilka was ahead a little bit. Larry thought that Wilder was ahead a little bit. Either way, 845-228-8710. That's our phone line. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. I tell you, the one thing that did bother me, and they were just talking about it in the chat room, first of all, we lost, Howard Davis Jr. recently, and they gave a respect 10 count. But no disrespect to Jose Sulaiman, but the guy's been dead 2 years. All right, why are we giving him? Why did we have to share Howard Davis Jr.'s memorable 10 count to give respect to him? Why did he have to share that 10 count with Jose Sulaiman? I don't get it. Jose Sulaiman was a guy that was great for the WBC, I guess. But that was the beginning of all the division in the sport that we have today. That's the problem. I'm not blaming Jose Sulaiman, but all the sanctioning bodies are the problem. It's why you got guys like Charles Martin, who's a world heavyweight champion right now, and he's going to be pounded on his chest after it settles in that he's the best. Just like Tyson Fury says he's the best, Deontay says he's the best, Ruslan Shagayev says he's the best, Luis Ortiz says he's the best. I just named a whole bunch of guys that are walking around claiming that they're world heavyweight champions today, and yet we still give Jose Sulaiman 2 years after he's already gone a respect 10 count that we had to share with Howard Davis Jr. I just thought that was BS, to be honest with you. Jose Sulaiman got plenty of accolades, got plenty of respect. What are we going to do? We're going to be giving him 10 counts forever? Come on. I know it was a WBC title fight, but still, I think they're pushing the envelope a little too much there. That's just my opinion. Anyway, another thing I was a little curious about, the choice of referees for these two fights. In the Charles Martin, Cesar Glaskov fight, Earl Brown, did you ever hear guys touch gloves if you want to? What's up with that? When you touch gloves, it's a show of sportsmanship. We need to touch the gloves, right? We're trying to set an example. Listen, I can't stand when athletes say, "Oh, hey, I didn't sign up to be a role model." Oh, yes, you did. And the truth of the matter is one of the best things about the sport of boxing is respect for each other. That's what separates the sport from everything else. You beat the hell out of each other. You try to knock each other unconscious, and then you show respect, after the fight, because that guy that you just fought went through the same things you went through to prepare to fight. It's called respect, and for them to do that, touch gloves if you want to. Come on, man. Of course they're not going to want to. And then Mike Griffin. How does Mike Griffin earn the referee job for Deontay Wilder or Artur Szpilka? Not that he had to do anything, because he really didn't. Those guys didn't do anything that a referee would have changed the outcome of the fight. But there's so many better referees, I would think, that could have gotten that assignment over these two guys. So I'm a little. That's a big question mark for me there. But nonetheless, Deontay Wilder improves to 36-0 with 35 knockouts as his third title defense, and arguably at least in my opinion, the toughest defense of his career, or at least the toughest opponent of his career on paper. I believe that Artur Szpilka is a legitimate top 10. Berman Stavern was, obviously, when he fought Deontay Wilder, he was the champion. But as we see now, his only wins were two fights against Chris Arreola. And a lot of people don't think too highly of Chris Arreola right now. Artur Szpilka, he loses for the second time in his career. He drops to 20 wins, 2 losses, with 15 of his wins coming by knockout. Ronnie Shields said that he seemed to be fine. They were just taking him to the hospital as a precautionary measure. As far as the joke of a heavyweight fight for the vacant IBF title, that the IBF was quick to strip Tyson Fury when he decided that he was going to have the rematch with Vladimir Klitschko. Glazkov loses the fight via a third-round technical knockout, 1 minute 50 seconds. He drops to 21 wins, 1 loss. It was his first loss, and 1 draw with 13 knockouts. Preliminary reports were that he tore his ACL and could not continue because certainly a punch did not land. Charles Martin, to me, although he's the new IBF World Heavyweight Champ, he's 23-0 now with 1 draw, and 21 of his wins coming by knockout. You heard these guys allude to it. If you're new to the show, I can't stand fighters that we're expected to watch develop, but yet they're champions. We're expected to watch fighters develop before they put the belt around their waist. So what that means is, they should be taking on all comers, or at least the mandatory comers for their sanctioning body, as the way the landscape of the sport is today. Therefore, Charles Martin, who's he going to fight next? If they start hand feeding him cupcakes so he can get better and better, that's going to be sad that he's going to tie up the title with those kinds of defenses. To me, he's got a long way to go. He had no business being in a world title fight. To me, he's not even a legitimate, realistically, he's not even a top 10 fighter. And I don't mean top 10 in somebody's rankings. I mean top 10. He's not the 10th best fighter, heavyweight in the world, let alone a champion. So, that's kind of a bittersweet to tonight's event on Showtime, although Deontay Wilder made everybody forget that with his sensational knockout of Artur Szpilka in that fight. So I just feel that Deontay Wilder, although he won in exciting fashion, I just don't think that he's going to be able to beat another big man, a guy like Klitschko, a guy like Tyson Fury. I think they're going to give him trouble. I think they're going to expose his lack of defense. It's going to be interesting to see if he fights Alexander Povetkin, and it's going to be interesting to see if Alexander Povetkin can get inside on Deontay Wilder, or if Deontay Wilder can hold him at bay the way he seemingly did with Artur Szpilka and all of his other opponents. So anyway, don't forget, we're going to be doing a live broadcast from beautiful West Palm Beach, Florida, this Thursday on LDL TV and LDLTV.com. We're also going to be broadcasting the weigh-in, and we'll have interviews with all the fighters and everything else. As you heard earlier, Carl King will be doing the broadcast with me, and we'll also have some guests and all that kind of stuff as well. As far as the fight card, it's going to be a showcase of some young, up-and-coming talent. It's a small show that I think you guys are going to enjoy, so make sure you mark it down. 6:50 p.m., 7 p.m. on Thursday. Tune in to www.ldltv.com or LDLTV if you're in the Southern Florida area. And listen, if you're looking to get the best boxing talk on a daily basis, tune into our show Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time on BillyCBoxing.com, on YouTube.com/TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing, or check your local radio listings. We're on 38 radio stations throughout the U.S. and Canada, as well as TV station and, of course, podcast as well. So check out our website for all the information, www.BillyCBoxing.com. Listen, it was great having you guys join us tonight, and I'm Billy C, and we're all going to be off all this week as we travel to do this event. But make sure the last week in January, if you're new to the show, come on and check it out. You can go up to YouTube right now and check out some of our past shows. They're all up there for the last year or so. And don't forget about my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage to Baddest Man on the Planet. It's a great read for everyone, not just boxing fans. It tells the story of a freed slave who fought for his freedom against his will, became the first American heavyweight champion, and actually fought in the first world title fight back in 1810. And part of the reason I wrote this book is to right the wrong. And the wrong is that the history books aren't remembering Tom Molyneux. Read my book, and you'll help me with the cause. Hey, man, it was a great night of fights. Glad you guys could join us. I look forward to seeing you guys next time we do a live broadcast, which will be the last week in January on our regular show, Talking Boxing with Billy C. Check it out, www.billycboxing.com. Until then, all I can say, like I say every time we get ready to wrap it up, is well, pretty much this. Hey, man, glad you guys joined us. Don't forget to tune in at the beginning of the last week in January when we return live. And you know that time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll see you then. Ciao, baby.